Hey, what's up, guys? Happy Monday. Hope you're doing well. I don't know if you recognize that tune, but that is the theme song from the original motion picture entitled Superman. That came out when I was a young lad. Love that. Love this character. Looking forward to bringing you a leadership lesson today. The title is Leaders Bounce Back. I just want to let you know before we get going, this week is only 2 days. It's really important that you attend all live sessions Monday and Tuesday, and then I hope you have a fantastic Thanksgiving. Also, monitor your grades. It's the halfway point of the second quarter, and so we're asking parents to take a look at grades as well. Hey, guys, I'm going to jump right in. I'm going to talk to you a little bit about Superman, the history of it, and how we can use his character to grow a little bit as leaders today. You see this Superman comic. It was produced in 1938. You can see that. It came out in June of 1938. If you bought this at the comic stand, it would have cost you 10 cents. That's a dime. If you bought that in 1938 and still had it today, you could sell it for over $3 million. That's right. Actually, one just sold on eBay for $3.2 million. So Superman, definitely a very valuable superhero. We'll talk about him a little bit. If you don't know a whole lot about him, he came out in 1938 through DC Comics. His name is Kal-El. He was born on the planet of Krypton, so he's not an Earthling. However, he was sent to Earth as a young baby because his planet was going to be destroyed. His parents wanted him to have an opportunity to live, so they put him in a capsule. They sent him to Earth. He landed in this little town called Smallville, USA. It's fictitious. It doesn't really exist. And his new parents there scooped him up out of the backyard, raised him, named him Clark Kent. He began to grow and go to school and develop all kinds of really cool powers, such as super crazy speed and incredible strength. And his parents encouraged him to only use those powers to help others. So after he graduates high school, Clark's going to move to the big city of Metropolis, also a fictitious town. And he works as a newspaper journalist for a paper called the Daily Planet. And there he finds the love of his life, Lois Lane. His superpowers are, again, incredible strength, the ability to fly. That's really cool. Impervious skin, which means like he's bulletproof and he can't get burned up. And he also has X-ray vision, although he can't see through lead. Hey, all throughout his stories, he has this arch enemy or this nemesis. This guy's name is Lex Luthor, and he's in this black and gold suit right here. In this particular scene, Lex Luthor is trying to trick Superman. He's trying to trick him into making a mistake that would cause him to lose all of his powers. So Superman is talking to Lex Luthor right here about these two rockets that are headed to Earth. And I'll speed ahead a little bit here. He finds out these two rockets are headed to Earth, and he wants to know where the detonator is so he can stop them from going off. Lex Luthor's like, oh man, I've hidden them. You don't know where they are. So he uses his X-ray vision to look around a little bit. Can't find them. And so here he is. I'm looking. Nope, detonator's not in there. Not in there. Not in there. Oh, you must have put it in lead.
You diseased maniac. You really think you could hide it from me by encasing it in lead? I'll mold this box to your prison bars. Don't touch that.
So Superman has made a mistake. In his effort to try to find the detonator, he's walked right into Lex Luthor's trap, and he is now being exposed to Kryptonite. And Kryptonite is really his only weakness. So Lex Luthor is going to take this, he's going to put it on Superman's neck, he's going to dump him into the pool, basically rendering him completely helpless so that he can no longer save all these people. And Lex Luthor's evil plan is going to move forward. So Superman basically made a mistake here. He fell into a trap. And that's why we're talking about bouncing back today. You know, bouncing back is the idea that when we make mistakes or we come up short or we don't reach our goals, we don't just say, oh man, I give up. No, you got to be able to bounce back. And so the next scene, we'll watch just a moment of it here. Superman is going to bounce back. He's actually got this young lady who's going to help him get out of the pool. You'll see her jump in and pull him over to the side. She's going to help to take the kryptonite off his neck. And now he's going to be able to get up, to bounce back, and to go and help and save all of these people who would have been killed by these two rockets. So here he is, bouncing back. There he goes. Now, years and years ago, these were like really cool special effects. Now they look pretty cheesy. But here he goes, man. I'm gonna let you see him chase down this rocket. It's really cool for him to find this rocket here. Let's see where it is. There goes the rocket. There goes Superman. And man, he's going to chase this thing down with his bare hands. Remember, he has impervious skin. Don't try this at home. And there it goes. He pushes it into space. So Superman has bounced back here. He made a mistake. He fell into Lex Luthor's trap. But I want to talk to you about bouncing back a little bit as well, because we do believe that leaders have the ability to bounce back. And this is really what makes us leaders. It's what makes us ultimately successful. If you set a goal and you work towards it and you fail and you just give up, you're never going to be in a position of leadership. You're never going to be an individual that can positively influence others. So we encourage you to think about bouncing back. Here's some tips and some strategies. First of all, man, just avoid the obvious errors. People can save themselves so much pain and hurt if they will just avoid the obvious errors, right? The simple things like not going to class or saying a rude comment or choosing to do something that you know is just flat out incorrect or not appropriate. So avoid the obvious errors. That will help you a great deal. Secondly, when you do make a mistake or you do come up short, sometimes you need to correct the error. Sometimes that means you may need to apologize. It may mean that you need to ask for an opportunity to redo it or to come back and say, hey, can I turn this assignment in late? It may mean that you need to just do something different to correct the error, but always correct it. And then last but not least, make an adjustment and move forward so that you don't make the same error again. So learn from it and bounce back. I'm going to tell you about a couple of individuals real quick. I won't tell you their entire life story, but Soichiro Honda is a Japanese man who lived, he was born in like 1920, but in the 1940s, he was running this little company that built gas-powered motors. And you may know them today because your parents may drive a Honda CRV, or you may have a Honda Accord, or you may have a Honda dirt bike or four-wheeler. This is the guy. He's ultimately successful, but did you know that his plant was bombed, totally destroyed 2 times during World War II? And then after he rebuilt it, it was leveled again several years later by a massive earthquake. But he was committed to bouncing back. And so I think he's a great example. Also, J.K. Rowling, she wrote the Harry Potter series. She's a remarkably talented writer. But for years and years and years, everybody rejected her work. Everybody told her that she was never going to be a good writer. She was broke. She had a horrible career, but she continued to write and continued to come back and bounce back, and that's why I've chosen her. Also, a lot of you guys use iPhones, iPads, whatever. Steve Jobs is the one to thank for that, but did you know that he actually got fired by Apple? They fired him, man. They were like, no, you're not right for this company. We're firing you. Only later did he come back and actually lead Apple to kind of reinventing themselves. So he's a great story as well. I love this individual. His name is Chris Gardner. Chris Gardner was portrayed by Will Smith in the movie The Pursuit of Happiness. He was committed. He was passionate, but he had a lot of really tough breaks in life, and he failed multiple times. He was completely poor, living on the streets, but continued to bounce back and find opportunity after opportunity, and eventually became a very successful stockbroker. So I like his story. A couple of other characters to think about. You got Mr. Walt Disney. You may have heard his story before. He had failed multiple times for trying to create motion pictures and characters, and then eventually found success because he continued to work at it even though he's completely broke. And now the name Disney is one of the most powerful, financially secure names in all of the world. So give it up for Walt Disney. Also, this individual, think about Thomas Edison. He failed 10,000 times, but I love his quote. He was trying to make a light bulb. He was trying to make the ability to create light using electricity, which was unheard of in his years. He says, I have not failed 10,000 times. I have not failed once. I have succeeded in proving that those 10,000 ways will not work. I love that. You look at this tree behind me, man. It's all lit up. That's Thomas Edison right there, man. That's my guy. I like him. Hey, one more to think about. This individual is a character who I really think a lot of. He was a president of the United States in the early 1900s. His name is Theodore Roosevelt, and a lot of people call him Teddy Roosevelt. He wrote a speech, and an excerpt of that speech is called The Man in the Arena. I want you to listen to this speech. It's just about 2 minutes, and I'm going to have an individual from the U.S. Air Force read it to you with a couple of pictures. But I want you to think about this speech called The Man in the Arena, what it takes to put forth daily effort, and why you should not be deterred if at first you are not successful. Because it doesn't matter what the critic says, the person putting in the work is what matters. He calls him the man in the arena. Listen to this.
It is not the critic who counts, not the man who points out how the strong man stumbles, or where the doer of deeds could have done them better. The credit belongs to the man who is actually in the arena, whose face is marred by dust and sweat and blood, who strives valiantly, who errs, who comes short again and again, because there is no effort without error and shortcoming. but who does actually strive to do the deeds, who knows great enthusiasms, the great devotions, who spends himself in a worthy cause, who at the best knows in the end the triumph of high achievement, and who at the worst, if he fails, at least fails while daring greatly, so that his place shall never be with those cold and timid souls who neither know victory nor defeat.
Man, I like that. Hey, there is no effort without error and shortcoming. How about that, man? If you're going to put forth effort, if you're going to be a leader, if you're going to be the man in the arena, you got to understand from time to time you're going to come up short. But continuing to bounce back is what it's all about, and that's the most important thing. So one more quote for you, and then we'll close out this week's lesson. It says, the true measure of success is how many times you can bounce back from failure. All of us are going to experience some amount of failure, and I will contend that the more effort you put in, the higher goals you set, the bigger dreams you have, the more failure you're going to have to deal with. The idea is to bounce back from it. So I hope you enjoyed that lesson. I hope you and your class can have some discussion about setting goals, about overcoming obstacles, and about bouncing back. All right, here we go. Week 14 is in the books. We are now in week 15, so let me share with you the house points for last week. Take a look. Are my eyes deceiving me, or did Dynamis win in week 14? That's right, I believe they did. Congratulations to Dynamis House, 2,504 house points for the week. You guys are killing it. Hey, maybe somebody in your class will be ready to share Leader's Creed today. I hope you will. I'll leave it up here, and I hope you have a fantastic week and a great Thanksgiving.